Jim here from Marine Tech Video Series. Back here a few years ago we started a video series on repairing and showing you simple, easy steps that you yourself can do to repair your outboard or inboard motor. Just simple little tricks and tips to repair them. And we kind of got out of it for a while. We're going to start the series back up and show you all kinds of different simple little things that you can do to your inboard or your outboard motor to help save you some money. So what we're going to do today on this video is I have here a standard OMC Cobra Stern-drive with a 3.8 liter engine in it. It's a V6 motor. And one of the easiest things you're ever going to do with this boat right here is to change the water pump impeller. So that's what I'm going to show you in this video, is how you can change this impeller. Shouldn't take you any more than 20 minutes to half an hour to do it. So let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to need here to do this project is basically some simple tools, okay? You're only going to have 6 bolts to remove to replace your water pump in this lower unit. So like I said, it's really a simple task. A 3/8 ratchet is what you need, a screwdriver, and you're going to need some grease. Other than that, that's about all you're going to need to have to replace the impeller. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started, and I've loosened up these bolts here a little ahead of time just to speed up the process a little bit. Is you want to remove these 3 bolts. There's 2 on the top of this plastic cover, and there's 1 down here on the bottom. When you get them removed, you just pull that cover off. It's just a plastic cover is all it is. Now, right here, as you can see this right here, this is your water pump impeller housing. And there's 3 bolts that hold it. Now this has a little plastic tube on it, and we're going to remove that little plastic tube. It just unplugs and comes off. And what that rubber, it's a rubber tube is what it is. And that rubber tube, what it really is, it's just a lubricating system by which the water sprays and lubricates some parts on the motor. I mean on the outdrive. So we have 3 bolts right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove these 3 bolts, and that will allow us to have access to the water pump or the impeller. And like I said, this isn't like the Merc Cruiser Stern drives. Merc Cruiser Stern drives can be a nightmare to drop the lower unit because the water pump is inside the lower unit itself, and you have to drop it down to replace the impeller, and it can kind of be a nightmare for some people. But this right here, guys, I'm telling you, it's something you can do. It's fairly inexpensive to do, and you can change it yourself. Alright, once you get them 3 bolts, all you do is you just pull that housing right off. And this will allow you to see the shaft. It's kind of a triangle shaft, so your water pump can only go on one way. I don't know if you can see that in there, but that shaft, that water pump housing has a boss in there that will meet this, and it will, you just turn that there until it goes in, and that's how you do it. But anyways, moving right along, what we want to do next, if we want to take this assembly apart and take our old water pump out. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I want to take a screwdriver, if I have to, and this has been changed before, and I want to pry apart this housing to get my water pump out. It usually doesn't come apart very hard, but sometimes what happens is somebody puts some, has changed it before, and they put some silicone on here or something like that, and it makes it so that the thing will come off hard. But you just pry at it and work at it, and you can get that off. Okay, now that I got our cover loose, we'll pull our cover off. And what you're going to want to replace here when you do this is you have a rubber O-ring that goes around here. And just by taking that, you take that rubber O-ring out and replace that. And what somebody has done is when they replace that, and this is a smart thing to do, is put a little bit of gasket compound or a little bit of bellows adhesive or something like that on here, and that will help hold this O-ring in there while you're putting your housing back in. Now, we're going to pry the water pump out. All right, that's all we're going to do. And you'll see when I get this out, the water pump's not bad, but the customer, asked for it to be replaced. So, come on out of there. As you can see, sometimes what's going to happen when a water pump's bad is that these impeller wings or impeller arms here will be gone, or they'll be burnt, or if you inspect them and you look at them like so, they'll be weather cracked and dried, and you need to replace it. Okay, now all I'm going to do now to put our new pump on is what I've got to do is I've got to clean off our cover right here, okay, and I'm going to put our cover back on. One way to clean this cover right here is just to take one of these sanding blocks. You can get it one of your building supplies or hardware stores, and just lay it flat and just clean that surface of that plate, trying to get all the gasket material off it. And that's all you want to do. Make sure you get a good seal, and just clean the thing there really good. And a little bit more right there. Okay, now what we're going to do next is that cover is going to go right back on here, just like so. Okay, and then we're going to get our new impeller, and we're going to take our new impeller, and like I said, this has got a triangle type shaft on it, and it's bossed the same way inside, so that they can only go on just one way. So put your impeller and just turn it till it goes in place, just like so. That's all there is to it. Now, one other thing that I really like to do, and this is just to keep the impeller from running dry until you start the motor, because the only thing that lubricates this is water. So you need to never run your motor without water coming into the outdrive, because that's what prematurely will eat up your impeller. Inspect the housing really good. If it's in good shape, it's not melted because it was overheated, and the stainless steel plates are in good condition, you can reuse this. But one thing I like to do is take a little bit of grease, and this is just a lithium grease is all it is, and I like to just line the inside of that thing with a little bit of grease, just like that, okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to give that impeller just a little bit of lubrication, making it slide into the housing easier. But none of that, but when I start this motor up, before water actually gets up and lubricates the impeller, it's going to keep it from prematurely wearing out. So next thing, all you need to do, guys, is of course make sure your rubber O-ring is on there. Like I said, any kind of adhesive that doesn't harden solid when it dries is all you need to hold that down there. Sometimes some RTV gasket cement will work real good. But all you're going to do now is just put this housing on here and push on it, and while you're pushing on it, just rotate that thing, and that will slide that housing right on there, just like so. Okay, that's all you need to do. Take your bolts and put your bolts back in here, just like so. Might have to wiggle it a little bit to get the holes to line up. And snug it up with your ratchet. And that's going to be about it. And like you know, it probably took me longer to do this than it's going to take you to do it. Because, you know, with filming here, I've had to move the camera a little bit and adjust things and things like that. So it's probably taken me a little bit longer to change this than the average person. But like I said, probably a half an hour, you know, is about all you need. Another thing you can do too, especially if you have a motor that's in salt water, is when you put these bolts back on, put some Never Seas or some grease on there, because if you have to change it again, Stainless, there's something about salt water with stainless and aluminum. It makes the metal kind of weld together. So you need to protect against the fact that for salt water use that the ionization will cause issues. So just put a little bit of grease or something in there and just snug them bolts up. Plug your little line back in. Take your cover. You know, double check your work. Always double check your work. I can't express that enough. Make sure everything is just the way it was when you took it apart. Put your cover back on. Put your bolts back on. And we'll snug them up really quick. Like so. Like I say, as you've seen, this is really easy. You can do this yourself on an afternoon before you take your boat out, and that's all there is to it, guys. All right, well, as you can see, guys, how simple it was to change the water pump impeller in your Cobra Sterndrive. Now, this Sterndrive was used all the way from the 3.0 liter 4-cylinder engine all the way up to the 5.7 V8. It's the only one they made for these particular models. All right, so there you have it. Now, OMC, back in the 1980s, used all the Cobra Sterndrives for their outboard inboard marine applications. Unless you have the King Cobra Sterndrive, which is a whole lot bigger stern drive, they all take the same water pump, and they were used on the 4-cylinder 3.0 engines all the way up to the big 350 5.7 engines. Okay, so they're all the same. All take the same impeller. And as you can see, really simple to change. It takes probably about 15 to 20 minutes if you don't have any interruptions. There's not a whole bunch of complicated parts. It has 6 bolts. Pull the impeller off, put it back on, and your job is done. Now, we're going to try to do a whole lot more of these videos throughout the boating season, because we've had a lot of people through popular demand who just asked us, you know, why you're not doing any more outboard simple marine repair videos. So we're going to start doing a whole lot more of them, because you folks out there want to see them. So if you like this video, please like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the Outdoor Sportsman YouTube channel, so you'll be able to keep up with all the new videos that we're going to have coming out. We do videos on hunting and fishing, as well as a national broadcast TV show. We do videos on outboard marine repair, and we also do a lot of videos on quail and raising quail and things we do around our bird farm. So be sure to subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.